when I heard you, obviously you were going to come on today to talk about postnatal depression. I just wanted to give you such a big squeeze and also my own personal round of applause, because I've been through it, and I know that as a mum sitting at home in your grubby old dressing gown covered in baby sick and everything else, to see somebody that's looking as polished and gorgeous and looking like you've got it all sorted, admitting that they're struggling too, it makes such a difference. So thank you for coming on the show today to talk about it. Well, every episode of postnatal depression is unique.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
was it for you?
So I can only tell my story, and everyone is unique, and everyone's experience with after having a baby, it's different every time. Like, I actually didn't suffer it the first time round. I only experienced it second time round. It had a lot to do with the circumstances that were happening in my life at the time. We moved house, so I had Tig, all within a month. We moved house. Ben actually went in for major surgery on his ACL just a few days before I went in.
What's your ACL?
It's your anterior cruciate ligament. The worst, like it's like the alarm bells go when you rupture that when you're a sportsman. So he was a patient at home as well. I came back after having Tig, moved house. I had really bad back pain as well. And then I went on back to work very soon, way too soon actually. I was on the live shows of The Voice in Ireland 6 weeks after having Tig. And I thought I could cope because I went back to work quite quickly with Aoife and everything seemed okay. And it was difficult, like any mum at home now. And the first few weeks are a struggle. It's like you're in this dense fog and you don't know where you're going, but you come out. But I kind of went thicker and thicker into the fog, and I just got really, really low. And I didn't know who to speak to about it, and it just, I couldn't sleep properly, and I just wasn't feeling myself, and it was a horrible, horrible feeling. And then I just actually said to Ben, I said, I'm not feeling myself, I think I need to speak to someone about it. So I went to see my GP. And
Had Ben picked up on anything?
He knew I wasn't really myself, you know, I was just, I don't know how to describe it, it's just a real intense low, you know, and you just,
and I think also the circumstances, we all had kids here, the circumstances around it, of course, are that you should be as happy as you've ever been in your life.
Oh, I know,
the
because it is
contrast and all the little cards and the gifts and everything around it is happy.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Inside,
but and even like, because when you're pregnant and everything's so exciting, you can't wait to meet the baby, and you do, and you love the baby so much, and you want to be the best mother you can be. And I think that pressure as well is on women too. They feel they're not doing a good enough job, and they might see other women thriving and breastfeeding so easily, and just everything's going great. But you just don't know if they're putting on a facade as well. They might go home and burst into tears and just feel...
You mentioned the word mist. For me, it felt like drowning in plain sight. So you look to all the world, totally normal, but you're actually gasping for air and you're drowning, but nobody else can see it other than you. And what I now try and tell any mums who've been through it is that 90% of the mums that you think are all coping brilliantly, they're not, they're lying. Some of them are coping beautifully, and if they are, try and get as much support from them as you can. And I think we all are our own worst enemies sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's just to be open and honest and speak out about it. And you know, there's help out there. I'm working with Tommy's Charity at the moment, and they've done research into it that actually 2/3 of women feel this intense loneliness after giving birth for the first 3 years. And actually, one of my best friends, I never knew she had it. And I remember when I said, don't tell anyone, because I felt like embarrassed about it almost. Don't tell, you know, it's like, it's like a taboo. I couldn't even, and my mum's my best friend, I tell her everything, and it wasn't until afterwards that I told her.
Is it almost like a feeling of, because I mean, I didn't suffer from postnatal depression. Is it almost like a shameful feeling then?
Yeah, you feel like there's something wrong with you, that's the thing, and there's not, you know. And when I told my best friend, she was like, I had it too. And then we were like, we were like messaging each other, and she goes, I know that feeling, like, I can't cope. That's what like we were saying, you know, just that like, oh, I just can't.
So what
like,
did you do? Did you just retreat into yourself?
So I did seek help. I went to my GP and she prescribed me antidepressants, which I took. I gave them a go. So I took them for a good solid 6 months, but I started to feel almost worse because it felt so numb.
It was masking it.
It was, it was just this numb feeling. I didn't feel great, I didn't feel bad, it was just, and it wasn't me, so I had to come off them.
Because for some people it really works,
for some people it does,
I've heard lots of people say that it gave them a light at the end of the tunnel they could move to, and then they came off the antidepressants, and it actually
helped me for sure.
And it's one of the great resources out there, but for me it was to speak about it too, and just you know, and there's lots of help out there, and there's so many people feeling the same, and you're not alone. And anyone out there, and if you're in your dressing gown, I literally locked myself up for like the first few weeks. I went out, I think, once and then came back, dressing gown back, living in that dressing gown for like about 6 weeks. But that's not healthy either, I don't think.
No.
To like,
and you also had the CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy.
Yeah, the
well.
CBT. For me, that's like great. I just love to like visualise and to keep the PMA going. Your positive mental attitude is all like I visualise things differently. And, you know, because I'm quite an anxious person, I worry all the time because I really care so much about everything.
CBT is fantastic for that, isn't it? Oh, absolutely. And so how did you... How are you now sitting here so well?
I'm feeling great now, and like I was very nervous coming on today to talk about it because I've never spoken about it openly before, and so I just hope that I can help other people and help them understand that you know, you're not alone and it's not anything to be ashamed of, and you know, just open up and say how you feel. You know,
and this is a great day for you because it's your 5th wedding anniversary.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Happy anniversary.